Let's talk returning to the office. A lot of companies are now starting to ask employees to come back into the offices after a year or so of being remote. And I think what we have to stop and consider is that the people who left our offices in early 2020 are not the same versions of themselves returning in 2021. I'll say that again. The employees, the human beings who left in early 2020 to go remote and navigate this global pandemic from afar, are not the same people who are returning to the office in 2021. Employees, never mind on a personal, individual, familial level what they've learned about themselves, employees have had a year to learn about their work styles and what they need to thrive. They're not the same people who you're now mandating come back into the office. Some people have learned that they're brilliant at remote working. They could do this for the rest of their careers. They don't need to go back into an office. Some people have learned that they actually need a balance. Some time remotely, some time spent in the office. And some people have learned that they're terrible at working remotely. They would rather go to an office every day. And there's many versions of all of these. But I think what we need to be very cautious of is, aside for the obvious health risks of forcing people back into an office, forcing people back into an office can and probably will have massively detrimental impact on the levels of trust in the organization, on levels of discretionary effort, on levels of buy-in. How much do people show up with care and compassion towards an organization that's now forced them back into the office after asking them to roll with us at the beginning of this pandemic? Because at the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't know, no one knew how it was gonna pan out. No one knew how this was gonna go. So we basically said to our employees, just please work with us on this, just roll with us. And that's what people did. People rolled with us. In the process, they learned a lot about themselves, their work styles, and what they need to thrive. But now we're saying you have to come back into the office. And the experience, the impact on employee experience that creates is massively detrimental. And I would caution companies to think long and hard about forcing and mandating people coming back into the office, and maybe changing up that conversation around working with employees. Don't tell employees what they need to do. Work with them to figure out how to navigate this transition back into the office, if you even are going to transition back into full-time office space. And I understand the lease conversation, it's expensive to have empty office space costing you money every month, but it's also expensive to have switched off, depleted, disengaged human beings showing up into your business every single day. So before mandating that people come back to the office, think long and hard about what is the impact that that's going to have on levels of discretionary effort, care, trust, buy-in, and compassion from the employees.